Assalamualaikum and hello to everyone. First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my research proposal. My name is Rabeta Adawiyah Binti Sharudin. My matrix number E24A3459 and I'm a student from the Natural Resources Science Program, University Malaysia, Kelantan. The title of my research proposal is Assessment of Bird Avian Species Diversity in Disturbed and Undisturbed Habitats in Jeli, Kelantan. In this presentation, I will explain the background of the study, literature review, methodology, research flowchart, expected result, and references. Now let's move on to the introduction section. In the background of study, birds are considered important bioindicator that reflects ecosystem health. Habitat disturbance can reduce bird diversity, while undisturbed forests generally support higher species richness. Since Jeli Kelantan contains both of disturbed and undisturbed habitats, it is a suitable area for comparison. Next, for the problem statement, study on bird diversity in Jeli are still limited. Most previous researchers focuses on large forest ecosystem rather than a mixed landscape. Therefore, the impact of land use change on bird communities in Jeli remains unclear due to the lack of comparative data. Moving on to the objective of this study. There are two objectives. The first objective is to determine and quantify bird species diversity in disturbed and undisturbed habitats in Jeli, Kelantan. The second objective is to compare bird species diversity between disturbed and undisturbed habitats in the study area. For the scope of study, this research focuses on bird diversity in disturbed habitat such as agriculture and settlement area and undisturbed forest habitats in Jeli. The study involved field observation only and does not include behavioral or long-term monitoring. Lastly, the significance of this study is that it provides local biodiversity data and support conservation planning. In addition, it helps identify important habitats and highlights bird as an indicator of ecosystem health. Now, let's move on to the second section, which is the literature review. Based on previous studies, birds are recognized as an important bioindicator of environmental quality and ecosystem health. Bird diversity is strongly influenced by habitat structure and human disturbance. Previous studies that have shown that undisturbed forests generally support higher species richness and stable bird communities, while disturbed habitats are often dominated by generalist species. In addition, habitat loss caused by deforestation and agricultural activities can reduce food resources, shelter, and nesting site for birds. Researchers have also reported that vegetation structure, canopy cover, and habitat quality influences birds' distribution and abundance. Since birds respond quickly to environmental changes, they are considered effective bioindicator. Although many studies have been conducted on bird diversity in Malaysia, most of them focus on a large forest reserve. Therefore, research on a mixed habitat such as Jeli is still limited, which is further support the need for this study. Next, I will explain the methodology used in this study. First is the study area. This study will be conducted in Jeli District, Kelantan, which includes both forested habitat and a surrounding agriculture or settlement area. This location represents undisturbed and undisturbed habitats, respectively. Moving on the sample design, the point count method will be used. Several observation points will be established in each habitat type. Each point will have a radius of approximately 50 meters and bird observation will be conducted at this location. For the materials, a field notebook, a GPS device, binocular, and a camera will be used during fieldwork. These materials are important for recording observation, identifying bird species, and documenting field data. Next are the methods. Field observation will be conducted using the point count method during the morning period from 7 a.m. until 10 a.m. Each observation session will last approximately 10 minutes. Birds will be identified visually and through their call, and the data recorded will be include habitat type, species name, and number of individual observed. For statistical analysis, the collected data will be analyzed using relative abundance, Shannon-Wiener diversity index, and pillow evenness index. These indicators will be used to evaluate species diversity, abundance, and distribution pattern between disturbed and undisturbed habitats. Now, let's move on the research flow chart. The study begins with study area selection, followed by site selection and field observation. The bird observed will then be identified and recorded. After data collection, the data will be analyzed and a comparison will be made between disturbed and undisturbed habitat before the results are interpreted. The Gantt chart and milestone schedule show the timeline of activities from March until June, including a proposal preparation, data collection, data analysis and report writing, and a final submission. Next, let's move on to the expected result. Based on the previous studies, higher bird diversity is expected in undisturbed forest habitats compared to disturbed habitats. Forest habitats are likely to support specialized species, while disturbed areas are expected to be dominated by generalist species with lower diversity. The findings of this study are expected to provide useful baseline data for biodiversity, conservation, and sustainable land use planning in Jeli, Kelantan. Lastly, the references used in the study were obtained from published scientific journal related to bird diversity, habitat disturbance, biodiversity conservation, and ecological indicator. In conclusion, this study aims to assess and compare bird species diversity between disturbed and undisturbed habitats in Jeli, Kelantan. The findings are expected to contribute valuable information for biodiversity conservation and habitat management. Thank you for your all attention. That's all from me. Bye.